This edition of the MVC Hoop Shootaround is brought to you by the Four Seasons Hotel St. Louis. Book an Archview suite and receive a $200 credit, champagne, and round-trip transportation. For more information, visit fourseasons.com/St. Louis/offers and click on Suite Journey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the MVC Hoop Shootaround here on MVCSports.com and the Missouri Valley Conference on YouTube. As always, my name is Derek Dockett, and joined by our MVC Hoops basketball analyst, former Valley Player of the Year, academic All-American, Adam Emmenecker. Adam, how are things going, sir?
You know, Derek, we're about a quarter of the way through the season already. I can't believe we're getting into mid-December. We got the holidays right around the corner, but from a basketball perspective, it's been a fun and exciting year so far.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when things really start turning around, and we're starting to see things play out a little bit more. We've jumped into a week now where we've got two teams ranked in the top 25 with Wichita State and Northern Iowa. Yep. But getting right into things, those two teams, along with Evansville, really seeing some early season success here in the non-conference part of the schedule.
Yeah, and how about Wichita State? I mean, they just keep going down the winning path. And I know they had the one hiccup there at Utah, but there's no shame in an overtime road loss to a team that's moved up the rankings now to 13th in the country. Utah's having a really good year. But if you're Greg Marshall, really all you can ask for is that your guys go out and compete and you have a chance to win in the end. And in that loss, that road loss, they had that chance. Given that game, you play it all over again, I think they win that game, but that's part of the law of averages. That just happens when you go through a couple of seasons. It just makes their run that much more remarkable to see what they've done over the last, actually probably 4 or 5 years, dating back to 2010. And the other team you mentioned, UNI, how about the start that they're off to? 8-0, they're one of the few unbeatens remaining in the country. And it's really interesting. This team, even though they do have that offensive firepower led by Seth Tuttle, it's the defensive end that's really doing it for them. You look at the way they've played this year, it's eerily similar to what they had back in 2009, 2010, that infamous UNI team that went to the Sweet 16. You got a guy like Marvin Singleton who's really made a step in the right direction, bringing almost a Lucas O'Rear type toughness. You never want to overreact to the non-conference season, but I think this Panther team right now is here to stay. And the third team you mentioned, Evansville. How about the way they're sharing the basketball on the offensive end? 4th in the NCAA in assists, 2nd in field goal percentage, just doing a really, really good job. Obviously, DJ Ballantyne's their leader. He's their leading scorer, about 20 points a game, but he's so much more efficient this year. Last year, they got him the ball, they force-fed, and he forced a lot of shots. This year, he's much more relaxed. He gets his flow in the offense a lot easier, and you look at the international flavor that's brought by Evansville. Mislav Broja, the Villanova transfer, has had a huge impact on that team. And Egidius, you're going to have to help me with the last name here, Derek. Egidius Miscavicius. We're close. We're close. He's a tough one, I tell you. Of all the names in the league, even when you look across the country, he's one of the hardest to pronounce.
Absolutely.
But you know Evansville, any Marty Simmons coach team, they're going to be engaged on the defensive end. The impressive thing about this team is they're really doing it offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you talked about the Evansville big men. Wichita State got some really significant news for them, for their program looking in the future. And we don't get a chance to talk a whole lot about recruiting and things like that, but in the Valley, we're a league that we see a significant amount of transfers and things like that coming in. Wichita State getting a significant one, and Connor Frankamp coming in from Kansas.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Connor Frankamp, big NCAA tournament last year. He's a guy that can shoot it. When you think about the guard play that's coming back for them next year, Fred Van Vliet, Ron Baker, and Connor Frankamp, are you kidding me? That is a stud trio of backcourts. The rich just get richer. Greg Marshall running a coup up there in Wichita. He's got the hometown kid in Frankamp. So really exciting for them and their staff to have him available second semester of last year. And one other player I want to bring up quickly, Derek, before we close. Milton Doyle, despite the fact that he had the early season injury concerns, he's made big strides this season. When you look at his stats and you look at what he's been able to do, his minutes are down, but his points per game are up. His field goal percentage is up. He's averaging almost 5 assists a game. He's really bought into Porter Mosier's coaching style. He's becoming a very, very efficient super sophomore. Great start to the year for Milton Doyle.
Absolutely, and a great Ramblers off to a good start for themselves as well as a team. So it'll be interesting to see how things work out in the long run as we get through December. turn the corner to January into conference play, and that's when things really we know how get interesting once we get into that double round robin Valley play. So we'll see what happens once we get into the new year. Adam, we appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Looking forward to talking to you again soon, Derek. Looking forward to watching a couple of these games and enjoying the holiday.
All right, appreciate it, sir. This has been another episode of the NBC Hoop Shootaround. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll talk to you again real soon.